Off she goes. Good morning, y'all. So I've been hiking for about 30 minutes now. Had to warm up a little bit. It was cold, had frost on the ground. Boy, it is not fun putting away a tent that's covered in frost. Your hands get all chapped and everything, just not a good time. Anyways, so last night, that right there is the mountain pass we came down from. And you can see the road if I zoom in. That's what we came down. It's zigzag, so we basically jogged down that road to get where we needed to be because it was storming so bad. And thankfully, as you guys saw in the closeout last night, we made it in, but I am feeling much better, as close to normal as I felt over the last 2 days, and was able to keep the food down, no problem. I was able to eat all of my breakfast this morning, take my vitamins, take my Carnation instant breakfast or whatever that thing is called, and feeling way better. Today is going to be right at about 20 miles. We are heading into Salida. We are going to stay at the Butterfly House Hostel, which is funny because it'll be only the second hostel on this whole trail. And we are over mile 1900 right now, which is hilarious after coming from the Appalachian Trail where you've got a hostel like every 3 days. So definitely a change of pace, and is indicative of the difference between how well developed the two of them are. Well, I'm working my way up to a mountain pass and I am dying right now, so I'm gonna hop off. We just hit the first mountain pass for today, and our second one is right over here, right in there, about a mile away, 300 feet of elevation gain. Second mountain pass down, and the cool thing is down from this is a collapsed alpine tunnel. I think it was like a tourist thing where they bored through one of the mountains up here to take tourists up into the high country. Woo! 12,000 feet. I am out of breath. So we are standing on top of what used to be that alpine tunnel. It comes out somewhere down there a little ways. You can kind of see there's a little road down there that we're going to hook up with that used to be the far side of the tunnel, but it has since collapsed. There was a rock slide a couple years ago, I guess as recently as 2021 or something. Based on the comments, you could actually go down and see it, but it is now completely covered up. This is the road that tunnel came out of. My guess is maybe somewhere right here is where it used to be. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot of rock slides through here. It could have been anywhere up on the side of that mountain. But now we get to walk down the road that it used to be on. Got a little bit more information, but this is actually an old rail path. Could you imagine coming up here on a train? It's incredible. Oh my goodness. But today will be a day filled with historical sightings and facts, I think. There's a lot of history along the next couple miles of trail and old relics of the past. Should make for an interesting day as we make our way into town. You can actually see a lot of the discarded lumber from when they cleared out the track here and turned this into a walking path. It looks like they just ripped it out and chucked it down the hill, but it's all degrading just fine. Yeah, it's all in this little boulder field down here. It's cool to see. This is interesting. It talks about how the railroad through here would try to figure out how to clear out the snow as well as the boulders that would come down during the winter across the tracks. And one that they tried out was called a corkscrew plow. And you can kind of see it here. It would sit on the very front of it, and it was supposed to be able to handle the rock and the snow as well, as opposed to a standard rotary plow, which is what they had usually been using. But the problem with the rotary plow is that it was getting torn up by the rocks and the snow. So they tried this corkscrew plow for about 3 days, and it ended up not working out because it kept derailing. It came off the tracks 3 or 4 times or something like that when they were trying it out, whereas the rotary plow stayed on the tracks. So that's what they ended up going with. So really interesting piece of history through here, and beautiful environment on top of it. So this area is known as Sawmill Curve, and it used to be dangerous at the turn of the century because the trains would come off of that portal that we just hiked down through, or the tunnel portal is what it's called, and it'd have a little bit too much speed coming down, and if they weren't paying attention to the brakes, it was very easy for the train to derail. And I guess it happened pretty frequently here. It was one of the most dangerous sections on the track along which the Denver, South Park, and Pacific Railroad ran. Really interesting. A tin roof cabin here, and an old outhouse. I don't know, I'm coming around here. It's hard to tell if this was a vehicle or if somebody made it a trailer. Hard to tell even what it was. I mean, it looks like a trailer to me, based on how tall it is. And back over here, actually, looks like a mine shaft. We can get a little closer to this guy. Or maybe it was their spring box for water. I'm guessing that was it, maybe? Yeah, look at that. We'll zoom in a little bit more. Not very tall. My guess is water, but there's also... Oh, it had to be water. I mean, there's piping here. Who knows? Either way, really cool. Okay, we got what I believe is our last pass of the day, and we are going up there, and that should be it. Then it should be downhill into Salida, and we've got beautiful Hancock Lake behind us. Had a bunch of hunters. There's a fly fisherman way down there on the lake. Pretty cool. A lot of people out today, and boy, what a day to be out. Whew. Those switchbacks didn't play around. We got up here fast. Okay, come to me, sweet downhill. You know what's funny about Colorado is it kind of gives you a blast from the past. Specifically, I get to feel like a brand new hiker all over again. With the altitude and going up these huge uphills, it feels like I'm starting hiking all over again for the first time. All those years ago, when I first set foot in the Smoky Mountains for my first ever backpacking trip with my good friend, with 60-pound packs and basically everything that you didn't need. And boy, struggling up those hills is something I have not felt in a long time. And Colorado has given me the opportunity to feel like a beginner backpacker all over again. It's fun, incredibly beautiful. I will say, Colorado is tough. Just the altitude and the constant climbing. However, the trail maintenance has been incredible. and it is beautiful. So you get the whole experience. All right, guys, talk to you later. Looks like we got some trapper cabins here. This one's actually had a roof recently. Oh, wow. Huh. Pretty bare bones, but it beats the heck out of getting rained on. Not much of a window there anymore, though. On this beautiful Forest Service road, getting ready to get down to the highway, where we are going to try to thumb a ride into Salida. Then we're going to stop by their outfitter and pick up resupply box. Probably stay at the hostel there in town as well, and then see if we can't bug one of the trail angels for a ride back to the highway in the morning. Alright, we're down to the road. Let's see about getting a hitch into town. I think this should be pretty good. Well, folks, this is the town of Salida. Not the whole town, but I've been walking around eating. Went down to the Safeway and got some good food, some greens and some vegetables. Or excuse me, some vegetables and some fruits. And yeah, the town is super cool. I mean, it's all like 1900 era stuff. Really sweet. It's got mountains in the back. And it's like the neighborhood and the town blend pretty seamlessly. And let me see if I can't show you guys some of the mountains down here. That's one heck of a view, isn't it? Yeah, the mountains just kind of tower over the town and everyone's super chill. And this is actually the hostel right here. Hey, good evening, folks. We're gonna go ahead and do the closeout for today. But had a good day, woke up where the old CDT and the new CDT met. Had some storming overnight, and then ended up getting out of the tent at about 7 o'clock. Had some good sleep, feeling way better after having been sick the previous day. It was quite cold, a lot of frost on the tent. Makes it difficult to pack up when your hands are frozen in the morning, and you don't want to really put gloves on because you need dexterity. And also, if you do have like cloth or neoprene gloves on or what have you, they're going to get soaking wet from all the frost. So you just got to do it bare hand, and it is painful and cold, but that's just part of the seasons that we're in right now. Trail itself wasn't bad today, just under a 20-mile day. The two big climbs, actually that's 3 climbs over those mountain passes, and then the gradual downhill coast on that Forest Service road into Salida, and we were able to get some good food. Got an awesome, very interesting hitching story actually. I was standing there on the side of the road, and all I'd been hearing about Salida is how easy it is to hitch into Salida. So an hour there I'm standing trying to get a ride, and I see this older couple pull up, and they get into the pull-off across the way from where I'm at, and they're there for like 15-20 minutes messing around in their car. And I don't think anything of it because, you know, it was a popular pull-out area for people to stop and do whatever they needed to do and then get back on the highway. And this older woman gets out of the car, walks across this busy highway. It's like cars are zipping like 70 miles through here, and she's just taking her time like she's walking to the grocery store. And I was just like, oh my god, please be careful. And she gets on my side of the road and walks up to me and is like, are you hungry? And I was kind of bemused and I was still like, what in the heck is going on? I was like, well, yeah, I can always eat, you know, I'm hiking. And she hands me this plate, and she's like, it's a tuna and egg salad sandwich, and here's a Gatorade. Like, oh my gosh. And she had wrapped it all in like some tortilla chips. So what she was doing was making a sandwich for me on the side of the highway. And it was just so touching and kind and sweet of her. And so unexpected. And they did offer me a ride, but they were going in the opposite direction of Salida. But it was just exceptionally kind and not at all what I expected. Now, after an hour of trying to hitch, I just gave up and was like, well, I'm going to walk down to the Butterfly Hostel, which does shuttles into town. It's like a mile or two or something like that down from where I was at. So I started walking on the opposite shoulder. So traffic's coming at me. And I've got about, a foot, 2 feet of room on the shoulder. And then from the shoulder of the highway, you've got about 6 to 10 feet before you hit a rock wall. I was walking between the shoulder and this rock wall, and then all of a sudden this Toyota Tacoma pulls off the side of the highway and is driving up this ratty side of the highway, through the rocks and all that, directly at me. And at first I was like, oh my God, is this person drunk? Is there an emergency? So I dive off to the corner, and this woman pulls up. She's like, do you need a ride into Salida? It's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, hop in. It's like, oh, okay. Super kind. She had been going the opposite way of Salida, got onto that ratty shoulder where she could have destroyed her truck, picked me up and drove me into town. Just absolutely kind. And then I was able to get into town, picked up my resupply box from the outfitter, got into the lovely hostel, got everything settled, got some good food, and had great conversation with everyone there. So overall, overwhelmingly positive experience. So a lot of unexpected things for Salida. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up. I will see you tomorrow.